Instead of thinking about Peace Out as a brand, we thought about Peace Out as a lifestyle. We built the brand around building a lifestyle brand, a lifestyle for people that could come and have a community to talk to tell us their experiences about acne, a safe place to, mentally drop if they wanted.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, and you're listening to Soul and Science. Fast forward your marketing mind in about 20 minutes. In celebration of Pride Month, we're focusing on brands that both address and uplift the LGBTQ plus community. You've probably seen Peace Out skincare at Sephora or maybe at Target. It's really hard to miss. And their most well-known product is their pimple patches. Today, I'm talking with co-founder and CMO Junior Pence and Senior Vice President of Global Marketing, Amanda Knopmann, about the founding of the brand and their commitment to supporting the LGBTQ plus community. Over the past 20 years, Junior has worked for or with inspiring companies and people across the fashion, eyewear, entertainment, and music space. Amanda has a passion for puzzles and people and has worked with brands like COVERGIRL, Max Factor, and Skinfix. In this episode, you'll learn how vision and process can complement each other to create a truly effective brand voice. You'll learn how and why you can build a strong community around your brand and leverage customer loyalty to reach new people. And you'll get a reminder to listen more, not only just in business, but in all aspects of your life. Taking the time to tune in can lead to better communication, better understanding, and better everything. All right, let's dive in and fast forward our marketing minds. We'll start with Amanda. I want to know your origin story, how you got into marketing. Were you a happenstance marketer, or did you always know, like, I love beauty, that's what I want to do with my life?
No, total happenstance. So I used to really believe I was going to become someone working in nonprofit arts management. I was an English major. I was a theater major in college. I spent a lot of time after school working in those areas and then realized I didn't want to do any of that. So I actually went back to school, to business school, and it was there that I discovered this thing called brand management. And it seemed like this really cool opportunity to mix kind of creativity and business, which sounded like maybe that would be more lucrative than going into theater and nonprofit management. And so I actually got my first internship at CoverGirl at Procter & Gamble and just fell in love. I happened to be placed there. I happened to be placed in beauty. So that was completely just, I guess, worked out for me at the end of the day. And it's been kind of that ever since.
I love it. And Junior, I mean, it seems like you're addicted to being a founder, because you keep being a founder over and over and over again. Tell me about that bug.
Oh, I'm addicted to the punishment, I guess, of being a founder. I fell into the PR world in New York City when I started working at Ralph, and I had the opportunity of just meeting a lot of people that were doing lots of other different things besides just the job that they had, creatively, and it kind of gave me the bug. So when I ever had the opportunity to do something, I tried to do it, and some stuff stuck and some stuff, as it happens, did it. But I always like to have a side hustle on the side. I still do things on the side because I just feel, I love my job. I love Peace Out, what we've created here, but I'm kind of ADD in the way that I need to have other things that occupy my attention as well. So I don't really have that much time for it anymore, but I try to ink out, a little bit here and there.
Is the Scout Group still active?
No, I let the Scout Group go, and Levi's kind of took it on when I got recruited by Luxottica to relaunch Ray-Ban Emperor Soul and build an office in LA for them. I'm addicted to brands that I love, and it was an opportunity. I've been a fan of Ray-Ban Emperor Soul since I was, I can remember, and to bring them back was, I just couldn't say no to something like that.
I worked on Ray-Ban, I worked on Levi's, and I worked on Doc Martens. And there's a different thing when you're working on brands that you kind of grew up with and love. There's a different passion for
Yes.
it. How did you go from that to deciding skincare was your next thing?
Oh, I didn't have a choice to decide. My husband, my husband kidnapped me, and told me that if I didn't do it, I was, in a lot of trouble. He's very passionate about acne and acne care. He suffered from severe acne as a teenager. And in his 20s, he still would get breakouts. And they would kind of pull him right back into being into that mental state of not wanting to go outside, not wanting to participate in life, like, wearing a hoodie, wearing a hat. And I never had acne, so I never really understood it until, you're married to somebody that kind of goes through it. And he was like, one day he was like, I'm going to figure out how to create a spot treatment for acne that gets rid of it in hours, in overnight. He's like, I'm going to do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Have fun. Because, he was cybersecurity. He worked for his dad's firm, and went to show me that, never doubt somebody when they get into their zone and they have a passion for figuring something out, right? And he tirelessly worked on figuring it out. And he stumbled across hydrocolloid when he was in a drugstore and brought it home, like for runners, like the bandages that you would put on a blister. And he stuck salicylic acid on his face and put the patch on, and the next day his pimples were gone, but so were 4 layers of his skin, right before, we had to leave for a wedding, which is fantastic. But then he was like, okay, well, if this works, I just have to figure out how to infuse active acne healing and fighting ingredients into hydrocolloid, because it's never been done before. And he contacted 70 labs. They said, you know what, this can't be done. No one can do it. You should just stop trying, because P&G would have done it, or somebody else would have figured it out by now, And he was like, it can be done. I know it can be done. So he was up one night researching medical patents, and came across a guy that was mixing antimicrobial ingredients into hydrocolloid, and the lab that was doing it was 15 miles from our house. So the next day he was on the phone with them, and in 6 months we had the first prototype, and we tested it on our friends and family, and it was perfect.
I grew up with pretty bad acne as a kid, and it didn't really bother me, but it bothered my mom, and I got put on tetracycline, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
And
I've been on one of the cyclines. Yeah.
It made me feel terrible, inside. It's like curing your exterior by basically poisoning your insides, and it was terrible.
I think everybody, has a story about acne. We hear it from our community, so it's very personal for people.
I want to ask Amanda, this is a question that I ask everyone. What special skills do you think you have in marketing that you feel like you're really, really great at? And
my superpower?
Yeah.
I think my superpower is really being able to see, it's the puzzles. It goes back to the puzzles. I think that I have a unique ability to see the really big picture and think very blue sky thinking, very go out of the box, kind of that big, bold, creative ideation. But then I always fall back into being able to put it into a process, put it into linear thinking, essentially to make sure it gets done, right? So that it can be executed. And so I'm able to balance those two.
Yeah, that's I think hard, because some people are good at the vision and seeing the space, but they're not good at the getting into the operations of the process of making it happen. I'm not great at that part, but I need someone that can do that part.
Yeah.
Junior's raising his hand on the vision piece because he's a huge visionary, huge creative.
I really lack in the skill sets that Amanda has. I can't, I am a vision person. I'm a person that kind of sees it and can pull it all together. But, really it's like having your yin and yang, right? Having that person. And, Amanda really fulfills that role for us. I'm so thankful because we were getting so big and we were running so fast that, the processes in place that you have to have when you grow to the size that we are were not being paid attention to in the way that they were, because there was 5 of us, and then we did grow, but there was like 3 people on the marketing team, right? So, you're just launching products, you're going to a campaign, launching products, going into a campaign, and having Amanda come on has really it's just revitalized the way in which we do our marketing and way in which we, it's really put the process into place. And it's made, I would say, us a better company, a stronger company.
Miss Puzzle Solver was the missing puzzle piece for the brand.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you did there.
That's good.
Yeah, I did.
What's it like running a business with 2 business partners that are also partners?
It's funny because I actually realized I just told Junior this the other day. I couldn't believe I hadn't told him this. My parents actually were business partners. So I realized I grew up with a home business with my mom and dad actually working together out of their own home business out of our basement. And I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. Granted, they had very separate offices. It is fun sometimes watching them or being on calls where they have disagreements. It's fun. It's great. I think it lasts for about 2 seconds and then we move on. One big family.
Yeah.
One big family. Yeah.
Why did you decide to go over to Peace Out? Was it like chemistry between the 2 of them that brought you in? Was it the product itself?
It was 100% my first interview with Junior. So I knew about the brand. We talked about, I suffer from acne. I still suffer from acne. Apparently I'm going to suffer from it for the rest of my life until I'm very, very old. But my first interview with Junior, I will never forget it. We had just a very lovely, nice conversation, super kind, super fun, super casual. And then in the middle of the interview towards the end, I started seeing somebody walking behind him throughout. And I was like, I think that might be Enrico, but I'm not sure. And then suddenly Junior's like, great, I'd love for, just to bring Enrico on for a moment. And suddenly he was like in front of
No way.
the camera for the interview. And I was like, hi. And he asked me maybe 3 or 4 questions. And then he left. He was like, cool, bye. And I was like, okay, I guess that's the meeting. So it was pretty funny. And I liked the kind of casualness and the kindness and the straightforwardness of the interview. So it's all about the people.
Yeah, it is at the end of the
the
day.
vibe. Yeah.
Junior, what was your intention and vision for the brand at the beginning? Did you start out targeting a certain age group or demographic? Give me a little bit of the background of the genesis.
Well, obviously we were an acne product. We had only one product at launch. And I really based, I would say, how the company was built on Enrico and what he needed. So we kind of put it together. Like, he needed a community. He wanted it, people to talk to. He wanted acne products that, could do what they said, and he wanted it to be fun, not doctor driven. He wanted skincare to not be scary for people. We wanted to be inclusive, gender neutral. Skin positivity was extremely important. And he wanted to offer a safe place for people with skin conditions to be able to come and have a brand and not be told, if you don't use a certain product, you're never going to look like Jessica Simpson or Adam Levine. You're just going to, be a secondary person your entire life, right? And he wanted to eradicate that. So instead of thinking about Peace Out as a brand, we thought about Peace Out as a lifestyle. So we built the brand around building a lifestyle brand, a lifestyle for people that could come and have a community to talk to tell us their experiences about acne, a safe place to, mentally, drop if they wanted some stuff, and have Enrico respond to them, because he did really connect with these people. And, the stories that you would get, he understood. So we built the brand not as a skincare brand, but as an all-inclusive lifestyle brand.
And is the key product, did it start with the acne healing dots? Was that the flagship?
It was. Yeah. We were the only hydrocolloid acne dot that had anything infused inside. We still are. It's a patented. So we're the only patented acne dot on the market. And acne was scary, it was proactive, it was, clear as cell. It wasn't, fun or engaging. So for us, it was, how do we make this dot, this hero product into a big skew, and it just took off. Like people were like in love with it. The gunk, show us your gunk. I mean, we started the gunk craze. I mean, there wasn't gunk until, Peace Out came along, and we would just get these like UGC content of people, and they would be the acne dot. It would just be gigantic, filled with, pus, and they'd be like, look, it's gone. It's like all their acne was gone, and it was pretty incredible. So yeah, that's our hero product, and it launched us into a whole nother stratosphere.
And what key tactics when you launched did you guys implement as part of your marketing strategy, and how has that evolved?
Oh geez.
What'd you do back then, Junior?
Back then, there was Instagram only. There wasn't even like Twitter, or it was Facebook and Instagram. Those were like kind of the only things that you had to use, no video. You could only put like one image in, and everything was static, so Instagram was our bread and butter. I mean, we lived and breathed it, and that's kind of the tool that we used to implement it. Facebook was part of our life back then. YouTube was, just getting started. We had done some stuff on Vine. So, I mean, social media for us it's what also helped make us who we are. We really focus solely on social, and press. We got a lot of great PR. We got a lot of press right out of the gate. So those were the two things for us that were a big focus for us. And marketing an effective overnight treatment that even if you wore it during the day, 6 to 8 hours, your pimple, visibly reduced. If not, it was gone. So, also having a product like that provides people the instant benefit and satisfaction of knowing that if they use your product, it's going to actually do what it says, and you will be able to physically and visibly see it and feel it. It really resonated with people, especially the acne community.
Then you guys are growing, you're getting bigger, you're getting into a lot of retail locations, and then you get an infusion, an investment amount of money. Does that up the marketing game? And, retailers expect you to do more traditional marketing. How does that change what you guys are doing today?
We basically started from scratch, and when Amanda came, that's kind of when, it all started kicking in too. What it allowed us to do is kind of slow down, not run so fast, take a look at everything in the business that was working, was not working, and go back to who we were, redo all of our advertising, redo all of our B&A product. It elevated our game in a way that we would never have been able to do if we, A, did not get funding, and B, had not understood and lived at Sephora for so long what actually made our brand work.
Amanda, how do you think about marketing now that the brand's bigger and you're on board? Is it still primarily social media? Are you going more traditional routes?
It's still heavily social media. Obviously, the social media landscape has changed. So now social today we use loosely as well internally. So it's Instagram, yes, it's Facebook, but then it's YouTube, it's, it's Lemonade, all the new platforms. Of course, it's TikTok. But then on top of that, then there's all of the influencer content that also is connected to social, and then all the UGC and all the content creators. So obviously that has changed dramatically, but still the majority of, what we're spending on investing in is very devoted to that larger social media sphere. It is still a heavy focus on press and PR and making sure that we're maintaining those relationships in kind of really anywhere we are, whether it's even US or Canada or elsewhere, because that word of mouth and that recommendation, we're still seeing strong returns from that. I mean, again, that landscape has changed too. It's now kind of a PR/affiliate marketing kind of channel, which is kind of new and interesting. And then it's the old new or the new old traditional media is what I'd say. is the third one we focus on a lot. So what's really exciting about Peace Out, it's like we're not afraid to go do out of home in Subway or to test the new digital out of home types of geo-targeting, right? All of that new old direct mail, because now it's all trackable. You know, it used to just be paper, but now it's trackable. All of those are big focuses. And then the last one is really it's trial machine. How are we driving trial? Because like Junior was saying, I mean, it's about getting these into people's hands and making sure they can see the difference and feel the difference.
Once you clear something up that fast, then you kind of need the product, right?
Exactly.
Do you think about the community you're building as almost involvement marketing and part of your marketing machine?
Yes.
How do you talk to them?
We have a Peace Out squad, Skin Champs, and we have utilized our squad for multiple ad campaigns and videos, and they evangelize our product through TikToks, and we've been viral many times with them, and the communities really listen to each other. And for me, we speak to our community all the time. I mean, our community manager is constantly communicating, reaching out. We are engaging, our social team is engaging with our new influencers, new people that love our products. So we're always trying to figure out new ways to engage our hardcore consumers and then bring new consumers in. We'll reach out to consumers that love our product, that have spent continuously buy our acne dots on subscription, and we'll say, hey, we're going to send you a gift basket for your friends, get them to try it, have fun. We have, people at our company, they'll say, oh, their daughter uses Peace Out. She loves it. Her friends love it. We'll send it to them, so we're constantly, like Amanda said, I think testing and engagement with your community in an honest way is powerful. It's really meaningful because, I mean, now today, if they smell any sense of like unauthenticity, they will like jump on you, right? You will get canceled in a heartbeat. So for us, we're always very thoughtful. I mean, and that's been part of the brand since the beginning. When you're an inclusive brand and you are skincare for everyone, you have to be skincare for everyone. You can't pick and choose who's going to be because our products, they run from acne to age delay. So we have teenagers to 60-year-olds that are using our products. So we have different pillars of community that we speak to through different products that we have. And it's fascinating. I mean, I love to do it.
I love the question. And yes, as Junior's mentioning, we have a very multi-tiered kind of community aspect, but community was one of the first things I said, I think even in that first interview, because it's such a unique community and one that really we have a right to play with our community, to engage with them, to make sure we're fostering those relationships. And I think that's partially because of simply the core values of the brand and the nature of the brand being a little lifestyle in addition to being skincare. What I love is that we actually have a head of community in our company internally. So yes, we have our social media team, we have our community manager, and then a totally separate individual who is in charge of our program on how do we engage, whether it's in the big ways or even if it's in the guerrilla tactics or the grassroots tactics of, hey, we read in the news, this individual in high school or college is doing something really cool over there in this part of the world. Let's reach out, make sure they feel supported, and make that connection.
This episode is part of our Pride Month series. I would love to ask you guys what insights about talking to the LGBTQ plus community directly do you think about for the brand?
I'm an old man. I'm like 51, right? So when I came out, there was just 4 letters, right? And one flag, a rainbow flag. Now it's, an entire ecosystem of people that have now come into this community. So for us, talking to people, especially this community of people, is specific, because you have to be aware of, pronouns and lifestyle and who they are. So you can't just say, oh, I'm talking to the gay community. You have to be like, I'm talking to the entire community of LGBTQAI plus, right? And for us, it's always been super important to stand firm and be like, we're this 365. It's not like, oh, it's Pride Month, right? Let's throw up a flag or something. We do it continuously. You know, Trevor Project is our company charity. We give throughout the year to them. We have, you know, we do things with other LGBTQA plus founders throughout the year. So it's never a stop and start. It's part of us. It's part of this brand, you know. And so for us, pride is very important because it's not just, I think, who we are, but we need to support our community. And especially now when there's just so much division and hate being thrown at at this community for no reason at all. You know, it's just it's an opportunity for us to support in a much bigger way now. You know, we're having a huge event in New York City with Sephora and with Ulta, and it's going to be a fun old gay time. You know, we're going to have a lot of pride being shown during that day. And I think that, you know, I think one of the things for me that really like bothers me about pride and companies that do pride is that if you're just doing it for a week or a month, you're not really LGBTQ AI plus friendly. You're just making money for this point in time. It's just another line item in your budget, right? You have to really step up to the plate if you're going to do anything. I think now for supporting a community, whatever community it is that you support or identify with, you have to be at 365. Otherwise it's a joke. Just stop, you know, don't even pay attention to it.
Amanda, I heard that there's a special announcement that you guys are going to make. You have something coming down very soon. What is that announcement? I have no idea. I just have this as one of the questions here.
Well, it is launching today. Today. So available during the month of June, but we're really excited. We have our original or OG acne pimple patch, as we've talked about before, but we've created a limited edition version of it. That's our first patch that's actually all of the colors to help represent the LGBTQIA plus flag, which is really cool. $5 of every single one of these acne limited edition pride packs are going to be donated to the Trevor Project when they're sold from peaceoutskincare.com. So we just think this is a great celebration for us. We've done things for pride in the past, but this time it's really about, you know, not even covering up a pimple. You can wear this anytime. This is about truly showing pride in not just your own, whether it's skin positivity or your own self, but also celebrating pride as a whole and making sure we can give back. So we're really excited about it.
I love that idea. What are some business obstacles that keep you up at night?
All of them? No. I think right now one of the biggest challenges that we're facing, and I think this is perhaps the same across a lot of this industry, is the media landscape has changed so dramatically, especially the digital media landscape with all of the privacy updates, cookies going away, iOS changes, just digital media, paid social media is just, it's not necessarily the same as it always has been before. And so I think there's all these new types of media coming in. There's this new out of home, this new traditional CTV, OTV, just trying to figure out the right media mix these days and how to think through that for any individual brand, I think has been very challenging for us, especially as the world of brick and mortar and .com continue to become more omni-channel over and over. You have people going into stores today saying, hey, I saw this on TikTok, right? So all of that tracking and measurement and trying to figure out the right mix, I think that's one of the biggest obstacles.
What's an unpopular but important decision that you made in building the brand? Like maybe something that you and your partner disagreed on, or something that maybe some people in the company didn't agree with you. And then when it happened, they're like, okay, yeah, that was a good decision. Do you have one of those?
Off the top of my head, I would say probably the toughest decision that, you know, I've ever have to make, or usually have to do with taking away people's budgets and putting it somewhere else because I know that something will potentially work and be good, even though like, Enrico will be like, I have no idea what you're talking about and I don't think I want to do this. And I'll be like, oh no, but we're going to do it. And I'm going to, go from here to there. That's like a lot of the times what happens with us, by the way. And it works. I mean, I think like, for example, like we put a lot of money into TikTok, and, when it was not even really kind of like a player yet, it was just kind of like this thing that people were scrolling on, right? And we focused a lot of our efforts and resources there instead of focusing it on Instagram or in other forms of media. And it paid off. We became a viral hit. Our pore strip it's probably our biggest viral moment. We sold 6 months worth of product in 24 hours when it went viral. It's, so I think for me, it's most of the time, the funny thing about us as a company is that we talk to each other so much that I think before anything gets to the point of being unpopular, it's been talked about to death. So, I don't guess I don't really have like something that was ever truly unpopular.
We are on the Soul and Science podcast, which is really making decisions with your head or your heart, and really thinking about what your gut says you should do or versus what the data says you should do. And how do you make those marketing decisions? Are you guys driving maybe the size of your business right now? Is you're making more gut decisions, or are you guys pretty hardcore looking at data and results to make your decisions?
I would say most small brands that have been really successful and gotten to this point, a lot is driven off of gut, because gut is what gets you to this point. Now with an infusion, with private equity backed, growing like crazy, launching new retailers, we are trying to bring in a little bit more science, a little bit more data into our decisions, because we're in that next phase, I think, of the company. I think that's just natural. But I think there's certain areas that I think will always tend to be more gut than data, especially if it comes around things like innovation and things that I think are our bread and butter, around our community, around our creative and our brand fundamentals. Those will never, I think, defer to data, if that makes sense.
Yeah, data is important, but you can't let it rule, because you'll end up kind of, I think, going off course if you lean too heavily into it. What do you see as the future of Peace Out? Where do you see the big future growth coming from?
Innovation, product innovation.
How much can you really innovate in the space that you're in? Is there a lot of room for innovation?
It's not just in innovating new products, it's community, right? You're bringing in new people to your brand is also how you're going to expand. And that is, part of the strategy that we have right now is, rolling out into new retailers, expanding globally, which we are, going into China at some point. But really, every piece of innovation comes from Enrico. So he comes up with the product. He says, this is what I want. And, it's really based off his journey as he's getting older. We're making a lot of products to help him stay younger, and then help our community either stay younger or fight their acne or their skin. We like to say that we're the acne brand, but we're also, a brand founded for acneic skin. So every product that we made can be used with acneic skin, because for him, when he thinks about a product, he starts with, okay, I have acneic skin, right? I'm a longtime acneic sufferer. I still get breakouts. If I use the wrong product or the wrong ingredient, I get breakouts. And what we tend to forget with skincare is that, throughout moments in your life, if you are acneic or you've never been acneic, you can become acneic. For my girlfriends that are pregnant right now, going through pregnancies, they're like, I need acne dots now. I'm like breaking out like I'm a 13-year-old, right? I still get them every once in a while. Since my age has changed, I'm now starting to get acne, which is so odd. But every product that we make is made specifically for people with acneic skin to use and non-acneic skin to use. So there is so much that you can do
Right. No, I never thought about that runway actually, because it's not just about treating the problem. It's about creating products that prevent it from becoming worse or happening. Yeah, that's a lot of runway. I love that. Well, we love Insurgent Brands. We're big fans. I think there's so much growth for your business. I think the naming, the design, like it really pops and stands out. So it's been great to talk about. Peace out. I'm going to ask you guys some individual soulful questions right now because I want to dive in a little bit on who you guys are as people. Amanda, do you have a favorite quote or mantra that you always think about?
I try to make sure my desktop screensaver and background says listen, because I need to remind myself to listen more.
I love that. Simple word. I feel a tattoo coming.
That would be a great idea, actually.
Junior, do you have a role model throughout your life or someone that really, changed your course, or a present role model?
I mean, my mom was probably my biggest role model in my life. She was a single mother. She got 2 degrees. She, raised her kids. We never had to go without. She took huge risks, and she, took a huge part of her life to make sure that, as we grew up and aged, we would be able to go to college. She didn't, buy herself stuff. It really was, it taught me humility at the same time. It taught me like how to work hard, how to stay focused, how to, if you want to go somewhere or want to be somebody, it's not, work hard, go for your dream. And I think for me, that's all, she's always kind of been that person, I think. But I have been lucky enough throughout my career to have certain people in my life that have been my mentors or have taken me under their wing and kind of guided me or have been there to offer support or guidance, So for me, it's always been about looking at people in leadership or looking at people that I emulate, whether it's, somebody I worked with or, somebody that I've seen, or met that's like, a doctor or doing humanitarian aid or something. I think that for me, those are always the people that I'm like, I can do better. I can be better, and that's kind of what I look for.
I would like to hear both of you describe in one word your business style.
We talked about this yesterday.
Oh, okay. And now you changed your mind.
No, I polled all of my friends.
Oh, good. What did they say?
They said smart, direct, straightforward. I'm going to go with direct. I feel like I got a lot of that.
And what about you, Junior?
I'm adventurous in my management, in my career.
That's a great word.
Thank you.
I totally agree.
All right. Last question. What I like about it is, you've got the product, but you have this bigger mission. So I just kind of one comment on where you see the brand going and the larger mission. Like, we'll be happy when Peace Out does X or Y.
I think Peace Out is unlimitless in terms of where we can go and who we can become. I think we have a strategy already through like 2027. I mean, it really is. We want to become the universal brand for acne prone skin. I mean, that is our goal, is to be the #1 brand for acne prone skin. And I don't think I'll be happy until we get there. Truly.
Yeah, I was going to say something simpler. I'll be really excited when Peace Out is synonymous with being experts in acne prone skin.
All right. Perfect. Good last word. All right. Thanks for being on the podcast. That was fun.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Soul and Science is a Mechanism podcast produced by Maggie Bowles, Ryan Tillotson, Tyler Nielsen, Emma Swanson, and Lily Jablonski. The show is edited by Daniel Ferreira with theme music by Kyle Merritt. And I'm your host, Jason Harris.